guys, welcome to the channel today. This is Danette with Period Farms. I am up at the garden by Jason Lauren's house, or what used to be Mom's house, or still is Mom's house, but Jason and Lauren are living in it right now. I want to just update you. This is the week that we have started picking our whippersnapper peas. You can see that that's the whippersnappers behind me. And then of course on this other end are the big boys, and they're not quite ready to start picking yet. They're probably close, but back behind me is where the potatoes were planted, and the cucumbers. The yellow flies are out. Boy, I hope one doesn't bite me. I'll be ugh. Stephanie and I, we were talking last night, and we wanted to do a little video on harvesting these and the cost. A lot of times people will say it's more expensive to grow your own garden than to just go buy the peas. Well, have you priced what a bushel of peas costs, a hamper of peas costs these days? I know right here in Alabama, South Alabama, where we're from, the ones I've seen in the store have been anywhere from $40 to $50. And at the farmers markets the other day, I saw some for $45. Shelled now, already shelled. White peas. And so I got Stephanie and I to thinking, you know, how much are we saving on our peas? So I can't remember exactly how many rows we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we planted 11 rows of these whippersnappers now, and he has picked so far 7 buckets. The first time he picked them earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, because this is the beginning of a new week. He picked two 5-gallon buckets, and we got a 1-gallon size bag of shelled white peas. And then yesterday he picked 5 5-gallon buckets off of these peas, and we're in the process of shelling those, and we're going to take you through how much we get off of all of the buckets that we pick here, and then how we put them up, and then we're going to share with you the cost, what we have in it. I know as of right now, we might have $10 in the seed, the fertilizer, in these 11 rows. And then of course we'll have to take into consideration the jars and stuff like that. But we're going to do a cost analysis of what we actually have and how many peas that we get off of the peas that we pick. It won't be much longer. I'm not sure how many more pickings we'll get. So we've done 2 pickings already. It's really, really hot here, and if you don't keep them watered, they will die off quickly. And so we're going to just see. I mean, there's a bunch of peas. There's still a bunch of blooms on there, so it's going to be interesting to see how many we get. I'm not sure if I'll get the entire year, but we can get a cost analysis on what we've picked so far and give you a general idea of how much does it really, really cost to grow you some peas to put away for your family. So y'all stay with us, and we're going to show you. We're going to show you exactly how much it costs, so that you'll have an idea. Okay, so here's a result of the peas. We got almost 3 gallons of peas here. Denise has a gallon bag of peas at her house. And if you've priced a full, this is probably a hamper of peas right here. 1 gallon equals a hamper of peas. So if you've priced a hamper of peas these days, this year, I think they're selling for about $45. Oh, Mother just corrected me, $48. I saw somewhere 45 or $48, somewhere in between there. A hamper of peas for a gallon bag of peas. And so Stuppy and I have been doing the math on what we've got, and we're gonna finish shelling these peas over here. We've got this is what's left of the 5 buckets that he picked yesterday. That thankfully sweet mama over there is we're all gonna finish shelling today. Her and Stumpy will probably do most of that. Get these finished today, but yesterday, you know, he got 5 buckets, and then the other day he picked 2, so that's 7 5-gallon buckets that we've got almost 4 gallons of peas off of, which is a blessing. And if you do the math on that, you know, that it's several $100 savings right there on your peas, and plus it comes from your garden, and you appreciate it a lot more when you can grow it, bring it into your family, put it up and preserve it. And we're going to show you in this video too how we've started preserving our peas. Now, we used to, for years, we always blanched them and froze them, put them in bags, quart-sized bags, and froze them in the freezer. But after, you know, a few hurricanes with no electricity, we started checking into canning. And and we did I think the first peas that we canned were our purple heart or pink eye peas. And we learned, oh my gosh, those are delicious. Plus, you just take them out, dump them in a pan, pretty much heat them up, season them, and they're ready for a quick meal. So we're going to can these whippersnappers as well. And we're excited about that because we have a lot of storage space, and you don't have to worry about electricity or a freezer going out or anything like that, and you're losing all those peas. And they'll be shelf stable for a couple of years on the shelf, which around here they won't last a couple of years, I can guarantee you, because we eat peas all the time. So we'll show you how much we get total after we finish shelling these 3 pans of peas, and then we'll show you how we put them up. So y'all stay with us.
Hey guys, this is Eric, Perry Hill Farms. Jeanette's behind the camera. If she'll show you over there, turn just a little bit. See, I'm boiling some water. Probably my most favorite vegetable in the garden is just now coming in for us, and that is field peas or cow peas, some people call them. Up north, if you say peas, they think you're talking about an English pea, but in the South, it's cow peas or field peas is what we call them. And there's a lot of varieties of them. This variety is called whippersnapper. It's a white pea, which means when you boil it, that the juice will be white or light green. Crowder peas or dark colored peas make a dark soup when you boil those. And just a couple of helpful hints or tips. You know, I don't know how often, but I often give people advice as far as what to season them with. And over the years, I learned from a lady that used to go to church with us. When you're cooking white peas, believe it or not, I know it sounds simple, but to me, the best thing to use is chicken bouillon cubes. Or you can use some good chicken stock, you know. And that enhances the flavor of the white pea and doesn't cover it up. On the other hand, with a crowder pea or a dark pea or pea like a pink eye or purple hull, anything that makes a dark soup, I like a smoked meat in it, and not such a heavy smoke, but like smoked bacon cut up and put in it, just a few pieces. But you can season with most anything you like, you know. But that's just the way we do it here. And I just wanted to take time today and add it on to the video. You can see my water's boiling over there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my jars. I got a teaspoon of salt in there. These are quart jars. I'm gonna take this boiling water, fill it up to the top, 1 inch head space. Always wipe your lid, the rim of your jar. Put your ring and lid on it into your canner. Now I'm using hot water. I got this turned on. The water in there is hot, so you don't crack your jar. And I'm gonna just fill up each one of these jars. Like I said, you don't pack them in there. And when you put your lid on and your ring, I just do them finger tight. Now we're gonna process these for 50 minutes.
In the pressure canner.
In a pressure canner. We're gonna pressure count them. Our altitude here is 10 pounds of pressure is the weight you use. And one other thing I want to talk about a little bit. Now this takes a little time to can your peas. You know, and my wife, I think, has done talked about, you know, the cost of them. And so anyway, I think I have about $10 in the seed and maybe 5 or 10. Well, no, up there I planted a cover crop of crimson clover, and I didn't even fertilize these peas. So all I got is the seed, you know, what little bit I've watered them. And like I said, about $10 worth of seed. And
how much time did you think you spent up there, maybe plowing them or weeding them, picking them, shelling them?
Yeah,
because your time's a
yeah,
value.
It was not bad at all, because I laid out the rows with a tractor. I used my Hall's push planter and planted the seed. I did not hoe them. I plowed them 2 or 3 times. I think twice is all I plowed them. And peas cow peas are pretty quick growers, and if you plant them kind of thick, they'll get up and get going before that grass ever thinks about taking hold. So usually you can plow them a couple times, put some dirt to them, and they'll just come right on along. But anyway, what I was talking about as far as a little front end time, and I don't know, the more I can, the more I love it. These things are excellent out of the jar. And the best thing about them is when you take them out of this pressure canner, they're fully cooked. So you can take you a little water and dissolve you 3 or 4 bouillon cubes, chicken bouillon cubes, or just pour you some chicken broth in there. Dump these out in there, and all you got to do is heat them up, and they're ready to eat. And now it's going to be interesting to see. And down south, everybody eats cow peas or field peas. And I just want to tell you, in the grocery store, they got quart bags. Now they got a whole bag, which is supposed to represent a hamper.
The gallon size represents a hamper?
It's supposed to.
Okay.
What they go by, bottom line, is 8 pounds. 8 pounds of shell peas is a hamper. And so far we picked 7 5-gallon buckets. And that's probably 3 hampers. And a hamper in a grocery store runs you from $43, I've seen it all the way up to $53. So in other words, with a $10 investment, a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, you know, and a sweet mother-in-law that shell most of these, we, you know, right here, and still got more peas to pick.
I showed them that this morning.
Probably the biggest picking though was yesterday, but still, you know, just what we fixing to put up is probably at least 3 hampers, which is $150 something. And if you buy a smaller amount, like a quart, like have quart Ziploc bag, they're $10 a piece. I mean, you know, this right here would cost you $10, not cooked, in the grocery store. And so, you know, we're putting them up. I mean, you can do the math if you want to. This is be $70 right here. And I know I got enough to do another canning and probably another canning.
Show our viewers our little handy dandy thing I got you.
Yeah, I got this little, my wife got me this little handy dandy.
What's the name on the side of it?
It's an Elite Gourmet. Elite Gourmet. But it's just a teapot, really. And you just set it on this little apparatus here, for lack of a better term. Turn it on, and in just a matter of minutes, it'll bring it right up to a boil.
Yeah, we timed it one time.
Yeah, it's just a few minutes.
It doesn't take long.
But it's made to make, you know, some hot tea with. But, you know, down south, we don't drink hot tea. We drink cold tea with sugar in it, sweet tea. And but anyway, this is my most favorite, probably, side dish of any vegetable you can eat. And you know, a lot of people might say, well, mine's broccoli, or mine's cabbage, or mine's this, or mine's that. And you know, I don't have any problem with that. But down here, you know, we was raised on them, peas and butter beans. I mean, it's just, you know, you might have some other different vegetables on the table, but if you go back 50, 75 years when my daddy was coming up, they had peas or butter beans pretty much every day. And it's just because it's cheap. It's a good source of protein. Any beans will give you some protein. And they needed energy back then to work in the fields. And so, but anyway.
Does that one need more peas in it?
Nah. You ain't supposed to shake them down or nothing. You just fill your jar up very gently. I do. And then, like I say, when my water gets boiling, I bring it up to the shoulder of your jar. That's an inch headspace. That's what it leaves. This right here where it makes the little lump there, that's called the shoulder of your jar. And like I say, we're gonna put these in there. We're gonna bring our canner up. We're gonna let it steam for 10 minutes. That gets the air out of your jar. That's the reason you don't screw the lid down tight. You want the air to come out of your jar. And the 10 minutes venting process before you put your weight on there and start your time, that's to get the air out of your jar. And so then when you process it 50 minutes, your pressure canner will get up to 250 degrees, and that'll kill any botulism in this jar. And that heats it all the way through to that temperature. And but we're gonna do them 50 minutes, quarts, I think.
How many quarts you got in there?
7. I think pints are 45.
And you still haven't got all the peas that we've shelled out of those 7 buckets yet.
No, I got these over here, this big bag right here.
Yeah, I showed them the 3 bags we had in there, so you've gotten 2 of the bags.
Right.
That smaller bag is from Denise, and then what Mom shelled today.
And what your mama shelled today.
Okay.
Which is this right here.
Okay.
And this right here, I know from just looking at this and this little bit here, I know that that'll be real close to 7 quarts. And normally what I do to keep from, the canner only holds 7 quarts. But what I'll do, if I can get me up another 7 quarts, I'll put them in there after these. And then, if I have some left, I can drop down and do 9 pints. Or if I have 11 or 12 pints, I can double stack them. And I can do some pints too. That way, depending on how many folks you're feeding, you can do a quart and a pint. But if there's just a few of us, I'll just do a quart. That way, that having some of both sizes helps you not waste.
We have a mess off of Denise's bag too over there for supper.
Yes.
So.
And that was off of, all of this is off of 7 5-gallon buckets.
Mm-hmm.
And now it took my mother-in-law probably half a day, I'm gonna say 5 or 6 hours to get these shelled. My brother-in-law and them shelled 1 bucket. She shelled the rest of them pretty much. Probably 6 buckets. And but anyway, we're gonna get these in the canner. We're gonna get the lid on there. We're gonna process them for 50 minutes.
And the water's starting to boil over there.
And I like 2 more jars. And but if you hadn't tried cow peas, you are missing out.
And something new that we didn't know about when Megan and Andy came down, they were surprised to see our snaps.
Yeah.
In our peas, we leave
Yeah.
our snaps.
And what that all the snap is, they thought it was green beans in there. And no offense to them, they didn't know. But all the snap is just one that's not quite mature.
We just snap them.
And we snap them instead of shelling them.
Uh-huh.
And we mix those in with our peas. And a quick, interesting story. My water's fixing to boil. A quick, interesting story. At the farmer's market the other day, I had a lady from Kentucky, and we're in South Alabama. She asked me about some snap beans. And this kind of ties into our field peas. But she said, why do y'all snap your snap beans down here before they get the seed ready in them, before they get a lot more mature? And I told her, I think it's just an area issue.
A tradition for here.
Well, I think the reason it probably got started, like in Kentucky, in the Carolinas, it doesn't get as hot as much as it does down here. And their snap beans, they can kind of continue to grow and make beans and stuff and let them mature. Down here, the heat kills ours. I mean, once it gets, this weekend's supposed to be 98 degrees, and we're just in June.
Just the 1st of June.
And with a heat index probably of 110.
Goodness gracious.
And so anyway, I think that the snap beans, we like snap beans down here, but we always pick them young because you plant them, and by the time they start getting as early as you can plant them, so the frost don't kill them, but you got to plant them early enough that the heat don't kill them on the other end. And so we just got that little window. And I told her, I said, I think that's where that came from. Just literally the fact of us having to pick them young in order to have some.
Not wasting them either.
And up there, they'll snap a lot of beans, or they call it breaking beans. And they'll break their beans, and then they'll shell a lot of the mature beans. But they call it breaking, which I thought was a neat term. And that's literally what you're doing, is breaking. But they put, and if they shell some in there, they call them shellies. And but really, their shellies on their snap beans looks just like our field peas with snaps in them. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of got that mixed in there with them. But anyway, we fixed to get our canner going. I just wanted to show you how I can, and And I don't know if I talked about it, but these are raw pack. I just put them in there raw. Put boiling water in there. You can debubble your jar if you like, but if you vent it properly, that should get the air out of your jar. And like I said, finger tight in the canner. You didn't say enough good stuff about the All-American canner. You see right there at you line up your arrow with your, it's got a little notch place in the.
That's been a well-used canner.
You can tell we use it. But it requires no gasket. They're a little pricey, about $300, $350. This is not their biggest one either. They have one that'll hold a double stack of quarts. And that thing's huge, and it's about $800. But this one is their next step down. It holds 7 quarts like most any other canner.
We got 400 in it.
And so we're gonna tighten all these down. I just do it slowly, work my way around. We're gonna let it blow. We're gonna turn this up, get it blowing some steam out of here. Once it gets a steady, good steady, hard steady stream.
Where's your weight at?
Weight's in the drawer. 10 minutes. This particular pressure canner, you can see it has 5 pound, 10 pound, and 15 pounds of pressure. And like I said, for your elevation, I hadn't seen anybody that uses 5 pound. I don't know what you would use that for. Now, people up in the mountains, a higher elevation, they have to use the 15 pound side. And but we're down here right not too high above sea level. We use 10 pounds. And so we'll put her on there. After we get that steady stream for 10 minutes, we'll put the weight on it, 10 pounds of pressure. When it comes up to 10 pounds of pressure, we'll set our timer after the first vigorous jiggle, which tells us that it's up to pressure. And we'll let it go for 50 minutes, and then we'll turn it off, and you don't mess with nothing. Now, a lot of people, if you try to cool this thing down, take this lid off quicker, it causes siphoning. It causes your water to come out your jar. And so don't do that. Let it cool on its own. Just turn it off. You gotta walk away from it. Probably take 30, 45 minutes for the pressure to come all the way back down. You want to be able to lay your hand on it comfortably without it burning you. And see, it's already almost so hot I can't hold my hand on it. You know, but it won't take long. A little over an hour, we'll have 7 quarts of peas on the shelf. We'll be jarring up some more. I got to look through them and make sure I get all the trash, wash them one more time, then I'll get them jarred up. Get some peas on the shelf. Appreciate you watching. God bless you. We'll try to come back and show you some of them after we get them out of the can.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. What is it?
You look like you've been working hard today,
I
Stumpy.
have been. Finishing up on these peas.
It's been what was it? It's been a couple days since our last video.
Yeah, or since we done the pea. Well, I think I'm gonna put this video together. But anyway, I just got 7 more quarts out. I think that's 21 quarts of peas. 21 quarts and 18 pints so far. I still got some more in the refrigerator. I got a can. And all, but peas are not hard to do. You can put them in there raw. And I explained how I done all that earlier in this video. And but it's my favorite, one of my favorite, if not the favorite side dish to have with any meal is some good white peas or dark peas. I like both. My wife and them like the white ones better. It really don't matter to me, but I think I spent $10 on seed and put any fertilizer out. And I'm quite sure we're up around, let's see, I've picked 14 5-gallon buckets, which is 7 hampers, which equates to roughly $350 worth of peas off $10 worth of seed.
And we've got how many jars? What was our total?
Yeah, I said got 21 quarts and 18 pints,
And
which
18
is
pints.
9 more quarts. It's 30 quarts apiece so far. And so far, and I got some more in the refrigerator to put up, and probably have a few more buckets. And just want to let y'all know we still canning, we still preserving, and like Homesteading the Hard Way. Y'all hadn't checked out his channel. Check it out sometime. He always says you never plow a field by turning it over in your mind. You got to get up off the couch, get out there and do it. And Greg says over at Hall's Tools, get out there and get your hands dirty.
So, Stumpy, in your opinion, is it cheaper to raise your own peas
Yeah.
instead of buying them? And
I mean, I could do a I forget what it's even called, but you know, an analysis,
cost analysis.
a cost analysis. You'd have to break down the amount, you know, the jar. You know, basically these jars cost $1 a piece, and maybe just a little more than that now. But I mean, you use them over and over and over. You have to buy the lids, but you know, 30 jars into $10 worth of seed and $30 worth of jars. If you bought the jars new, is $40. I mean, you got $1 and you know, $1.15, 20 cents. Not that much. Just a little over $1, maybe $1 and a nickel in a jar of peas. And if you bought these in a grocery store, they're $10 for just one, not cooked. And so yeah, it's you know, there's a reason our fathers, granddaddies, and all them raised stuff like this. They didn't have no money, and so now it ain't the fact that we ain't got. It's not that we don't have money. It's just how high things have got. And so if you want to save some money and eat better, start growing, raising your own food if you got some ground to plant. Anyway, I just want to say we appreciate you watching. God bless you. Remember, a simple life's a much more enjoyable life. You know, get out and enjoy what the good Lord made for us to enjoy. And I ain't saying it's easy, because it's not easy raising your own food. And if you got a little time, it'll save you a lot of money. Thank you.